Good for you. Let's go over.
Good for me. Oh my.
Okay.
Let's go over it now.
Let's go over it.
Let's go over my hypothetical one cause of action that I mentioned to get you to answer one question.
Okay.
So Vic is going to sue for tortious interference of a business contract.
I don't know, but he could.
Not of a business contract. I said a prospective business.
Okay, prospective business, not even actual prospective business?
Yes, that's a cause of action in Texas. It falls under a broad category of civil actions called corporate or business defamation.
Oh, so Vic is also egotistical now. Great. Okay, let's do it.
What?
So Funimation is going to...
Oh, lovely. They've sent me a moron.
So Vic is going to sue Funimation, saying that they are interfering with potential business that he may have. Let's go for it. How is Vic going to sue Funimation saying they are intentionally interfering with a business opportunity that he has? Go.
Okay, how you bring this cause of action? The elements are that a business in the course of business makes a statement or does an action that causes damage to someone's brand in the form of something like defamation. There are other potential causes of action, but we'll go with business defamation.
Vic's law firm is going to sue Funimation for interfering with a business contract. And you yourself brought up conventions, which is where his money comes in at. So I would like you to explain to me how he goes to court, any court whatsoever, in or out, any kind of litigation, and explains to a court and files a claim saying that Funimation fired him, made a statement online, which they did, and the second tweet of that statement made a claim about sexual harassment. It was a different tweet from when they said he was fired, but the second tweet said, "We don't condone sexual harassment." I would like you to explain to me and all the viewers and everyone listening online at home how it is that he goes to court and says that that tweet was the cause of him losing the income with any convention in this country, when you don't know, nor does he, why the convention canceled his contract under their lawful termination agreement in their contract. How does he explain that that was the cause of it? Because if he doesn't, and he cannot prove malice intentional interference with the contract, he cannot use TI for business. He has to prove that that comment is the reason the contract was canceled, and they intentionally tried to get him to cancel the contract. Explain it to me, please.
Okay, if you're done reading Wikipedia about
you want a screenshot? I'm looking at your face in Discord. I'm not looking at Wikipedia. This is off the top of my head. Your face in Discord. I'm not looking at Wikipedia.
Okay, good. That is at least a little bit reassuring. Okay, first of all, you're talking about tortious interference with a contract, which requires knowledge of
which requires actual knowledge of a contract and an intent to interfere with that specific contract.
I'm talking about business or corporate defamation, which is tortious interference with prospective business prospects. Now, that is a separate cause of action in Texas, and when it involves business defamation, you don't actually need to know about the contract. Even if you wanted to go into each and every con that dropped him and bring a cause of action for tortious interference with a contract, a specific contract, you could get past that. Because in Texas,
even if there's an exit clause, because I know you threw that in there as some sort of gotcha,
but in Texas specifically, under Texas Supreme Court decisions,
even if
there is a cancellation or termination clause, up until the moment it's terminated, tortious interference still applies. So even if you give a valid reason for them to cancel a contract, and they cancel a contract, but the communication was done with actual malice and was not privileged,
you still have tortious interference because you're in Texas. And because you're in Texas, truth isn't a defense. But I'm not the one who knows this, right? You certainly have a counter argument within the jurisdictions we're talking about, correct?
It wouldn't be that way in Arkansas, in Louisiana, in Alabama, in Washington, D.C., in New York State, in California.
But but it is in Texas.
So please tell me now where I'm wrong, since you're the expert.
I'm sorry, I actually wasn't paying attention to all of that.
How embarrassing you are.
That you actually can't do it. You can't just basically go to any random contract. In Texas,
You're confusing.
This is so sad. You're confusing tortious interference with contracts and tortious interference with business prospects.
okay, first of all, no, I'm not. We have already established that I'm the person who's actually been to court for contracts in Texas, and you have never done that. So,
And
I'm
then
very
why am I
strict-
so
I'm
much
very-
more
very
versed in
strict.
it?
Tortious interference of a business in Texas. The company that, if you're suing a company, you have to prove that that company intentionally meant to interfere with a contract out of malice.
Oh my God. No.
That's tortious interference with contract,
It
not
is
with
not. Go look
No,
it up.
not
Go
with
look it
business
up.
prospects.
Look it up where? Where are you reading it
I
from?
understand.
You
Much
have
like
said
everything you
so
said
many
in the last
times.
time.
You're laying out very well the elements of tortious interference.
With a contract.
With a business, but you keep interrupting me because you're afraid of getting embarrassed. And I can bring up the case law if you would like.
Go
Unless
ahead.
you don't want to be in. So here, let's go over the basics. A contract exists between you, a third party, willfully and intentionally interfered with that contract. So Nick, a
Yeah.
contract exists between you
Uh-huh.
and a third party willfully and intentionally interfered with that contract. This is not. I mean,
Can you
Let me
wait,
go-
go back down to no, go back to that. Please, we weren't done.
No,
We weren't done.
I wasn't done being educated.
Please, now go up 2 lines. Go up
Go-
2 lines and read the bold text. Read the bold text. No. 2 lines from where you were.
Basics.
Go down 3 lines now, I guess. Have you been drinking more than me?
To prove tortious interference with an existing contract.
Yes,
You must
tortious
show-
interference with a contract.
with
Oh
an
my-
existing contract.
Yes. You
Okay,
got
wait,
it.
Hold on.
You
Are
have learned.
Wait, hold on. You're going to tell me that your entire conspiracy scheme is based on the fact that Vic knows which cons are going to book him?
No. No. How do
So an
you?
existing contract.
Are you
Okay,
serious?
let's go.
No. Are you serious right now? You're trolling. You have to be trolling right now, right?
Like, because I've said over and over
And over again.
that tortious interference with a contract is a separate cause of action.
Okay,
It's
let's
not
talk
what
about
we're
this
talking.
line. Let's talk about this line right here. Willfully and intentionally interfered with that contract.
Yes,
How do you
because that's
explain-
tortious interference with a contract, which I've said probably 50 times that we're not talking about that cause of action.
Oh my God.
All right.
No.
Let's do it. Let's do this. Nick, bring up your law text because you're the law expert. Bring up your law books and show us.
No,
So,
I don't need
Come
to
on.
because I've said over and over we're not talking.
I got it. That's not what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to show you what I'm talking about.
I
because
don't need
want my
to.
viewers-
I'm actually
I don't
an
need to.
expert.
I
I'm the guy who writes the webpage. Do you understand?
Like,
Your
you,
webpage? I've seen it. It's disgusting. It's embarrassing.
good.
You got a
but
webpage. You got a webpage updated in January of 2018 with a YouTube video.
Yes.
I don't know what you're saying you're an expert at.
I'm an expert at law.
Oh my
Obviously
God.
not. Obviously not.
Buddy, you
Obviously
don't
not.
you don't realize, like, this is weird because from the get-go you kept saying with an existing contract, and I'd say no, not with an existing contract. That's a separate cause of action. That is a separate thing entirely. And then you go to your source and you read tortious interference with an existing contract. I mean,
You stopped
like
me
that.
halfway down the page while I was reading a brand new page that I admitted I had never read before, and you stopped me and say, "Wait, that's not what I'm talking about." And I'm like, "I just
because
I haven't
it's
even
not.
read lots of this page.
I've said, I
don't
know
even
you
know
didn't
what
read
this
it.
page.
It's obvious because I said over and over we're not talking about tortious interference with an existing contract because I said I don't have the contracts.
And
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yes, I don't have the contracts, so I wouldn't bring that cause of action.
Would you like to see one? Do you want to see
no,
one? Would
I
it
don't.
help?
What
No,
would it
you
help?
don't?
I don't care.
Oh, okay.
I'm not bringing that cause of action. I'm not even proposing that cause of action. Your brain is stuck on a loop, on a gotcha loop, where you think I've never even mentioned tortious interference with a specific contract.
Oh, no.
I've never mentioned it, and every time you bring it up, I say no, not that one. No, not that one. No, not that one.
Well,
We can bring up. It's business defamation, man.
I addressed arguments you made throughout this entire show.
No, you didn't, because I've been talking about business defamation, which comes out to tortious interference with prospective business relations, which involves a false statement that is made that causes interference with prospective contracts, not existing contracts, and damages are presumed because it's defamation and you don't actually have contracts. Because if you could just unperson someone and they never get work again, you're like, you couldn't get contracts again. That wouldn't be an effective remedy of the court. So,
All right.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Let's start with your first sentence in that thing.
okay,
False statement. Let's start with a false statement. So
gotcha.
to begin with this, can you explain to me how Vic's law firm, lawyer, whatever, if Vic decides to take this to court, can you explain to me how Vic proves that all of the people were making false statements?
You don't have to prove that they all made false statements.
Like how are you?
How are you like this? I don't understand.